What's up, guys? Today I'd like to show you the OneArm kettlebell swing. So if you haven't been practicing or learning your TwoArm swing or haven't gotten proficient in it, just don't worry about doing this one for now. Just go back and practice the TwoArm swing before you attempt this one. So what is the difference between this one and the TwoArm swing? The OneArm and the TwoArm swing. In the TwoArm swing, you're able to work your speed on the way down a whole lot more by using your lats and forcing it down using your arms. That's going to increase your power on the way up. So we call those overspeed eccentrics. Can't really do that with the OneArm swing though. With the OneArm swing, you're working your grip, your abs, your glutes, a whole lot more, about 50% more than in the TwoArm swing. So I'm not saying this one is better, just different, so do both types of swings. I'm going to do a demonstration, then I'm going to talk to you about the steps how to get there. So the OneArm swing is a movement that wants to pull you forward, wants to pull you out of place. You have to counter that movement by engaging your contralateral pattern. So it's an anti-rotational movement. The bell wants to rotate you forward, but you don't want to let it, so you have to fight the kettlebell. A few things are important in this. Number one is keeping a packed shoulder. So what is a packed shoulder? It means that your shoulder doesn't come out of its socket. So one great way to learn this is the one-arm deadlift or single-arm deadlift. Here's how you do it. Set up in your deadlift. Square your shoulders off, square your hips off. Reach down for the kettlebell as if you're reaching down with both arms. Strongly grab the handle and lift off. At the top of the deadlift, abs are tight, glutes are tight, kneecaps are pulled up, feet are planted down, both shoulders are packed, and I slowly bring the bell back down. So the idea is to lift it as if I had two, because if I would be relaxed, it would just pull me forward and I'd be out of alignment. So you have to fight it and imagine that you had two bells or lifting with two arms. One more time. Now this movement, the lat is strongly engaged. You want to be able to keep that connection and straighten out your arm like so in the OneArm swing. When you stand up, you have to drive your opposite hip. So if this arm is working, this opposite hip has to drive even harder. So it basically wants to do this, and I have to counter it by basically pulling and pushing with the hip. Pulling with the lat, pushing with the hip, like this. Abs are very strongly contracted. So, the setup for the OneArm swing is basically the same as a TwoArm swing. Here's how you do that. So, looking from the side, I'm going to start as if I was going to do a TwoArm swing. So, notice my position. Shoulders are higher than the hips. Hips are higher than the knees. Shins are almost vertical. Shoulders are packed. Okay? So I released my non-working arm, and I'm going to keep it to the side or like here, no problem. Hike past the bell. When I hike past the bell, I'm going to use both arms. Imagine that I was jumping. I'm going to load up like so. And when I stand up, both arms are going to go forward together. So I want to be active with my non-working arm at the same time. When I stand up in the swing, it's either going to go with it to the side or up in a guard position like this. So back to the setup. Don't allow yourself to let your shoulders become unpacked or your back round. So the idea is to keep the same setup. Lengthen both arms and grab your bell, and this is the setup. So hike pass and swing. At the top of the swing, everything engages like in a deadlift. So, starting from the ground up, both feet are planted down, kneecaps are pulled up inside the socket and are zipping up the rest of my body. Everything has to be tight. Abs, glutes have to be engaged. I want to basically feel like somebody's about to hit me, but I'm protecting myself or preventing, creating like a shield. As before, lats have to be engaged and you're strongly countering that pull. So it basically goes from the setup, the hike, to the standing position, the plank, if you want to call it that. What happens in between is also important. So the top of the swing, you're letting the kettlebell float up momentarily, and you are being very patient for its descent. So what is the cue for you to go down? There's a couple cues you can use. Number one, imagine that you have buttons, like your hips. The corner of your hips are buttons. And you're going to be pushing those buttons with your, either the back of your forearm or your elbow. So watch. As this goes down, it's going to touch that button, and that's a cue for me to go down. Right? So it's like push the button to go down. That's your cue. Another cue is using your non-working arm that's not holding the kettlebell to basically cue yourself for the timing. So watch. As this goes down and this arm passes my midline, that's when I go down. So watch one more time. This goes down, I'm not changing my body alignment, and right at the last second, chop my hips back. That's when I'm going to go back down. A lot of people have issues with the timing, and these few tricks are going to help you a lot. Going back, load your hamstrings. Go as far back as your body will allow you. So it's like loading, let's say, a bow. If you pull the bow only halfway, and if you only go down this far, on the way up, there won't be as much power as if you would pull the bow all the way back. So what you could do is visualize that you're riding a broomstick. My teacher, John Engam, said that once. Like you're riding a broomstick like a witch on Halloween. Sounds weird, but it works really well. So wait until your arm comes down and your forearm is going to reach your inner thigh and push your butt back. And you're going to feel the pull back here. And you want to go as far down as you can without necessarily going parallel. You don't want to be going this far. So you want to be over here. I'm still keeping a proud chest, looking straight ahead, and not allowing my body to go upside down, as they say. So reach back, over here. Once you feel the pull, boom, stand back up, explosively and crisply into the plank position, like you're driving hard. You want to be actually violent with your, and aggressive with your hip drive. That's what's going to create the power in the kettlebell swing, in the float. It's going to allow the kettlebell just to float up. So you're not using your arms to lift the bell. It's all happening in the hips. Okay. Otherwise, on the top of the swing, make a straight fist, not a hammer fist like so, and use that non-working arm like this. Almost looks like a punch. On the way down, you can either keep your fist the same position or turn your thumb down like so. They say that it's a healthier way for you to swing because in case your elbow bends, it'll bend back this way and not arm bar you if your thumb would be pointed up. So if your thumb would be pointed up, you could actually hurt yourself like this. Okay? So otherwise, practice your one-arm swing. Remember that it's just a practice until you get proficient at the movement. Then you can actually have a workout with it. So it's practice before going a little harder with the movement. So until then, stay strong and keep your reps low. Take care.